Yeah, I understand that Super Bowl 55 was 5 days ago, but this Seahawks-clad Pikachu and I were watching Super Bowl 55 on mute. You know why? Because the weekend is trash, and most and all commercials are just brainwashing programming to turn you into mindless consumers. But hey, welcome to the Sky Lounge podcast, episode number 323. Piggyskin picks Super Bowl 55. Ugh. So as I've said, boys and girls, I didn't watch a halftime show. I didn't watch a pregame show. I didn't watch the fucking pregame poetry nonsense. Had the entire game on mute from start to finish. And it was glorious just watching the games. But I gotta be honest. I mean, this Super Bowl left me really disappointed for many reasons. So before the game, I actually made a little board, prediction and educated guesses of what I thought was going to happen. Now, if you want to take a pause there and read what's going on, a lot of these things I feel I got pretty on the nose. Not too bad. And, you know, if the scoreline was a lot better than what we got in reality, I mean, 28-30 is super optimistic when we consider what we witnessed on Sunday. Now, I know if you're a Chiefs fan, losing 31-9 against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers is disheartening, and you want to deflect and not own up to the responsibility of sucking in the biggest fucking stage of the football season. But yeah, I know the instant thing that's going to come out, and that has come out all throughout this week, is it's the referee's fault. Oh, it's all the referees. Yeah, the referees ruined everything. The referee gave another Super Bowl Tom Brady. Really? Now, I understand. The referees were dog shit. Okay? Let's clear the air right now. In the first half, the referees gave 8 flags worth 95 yards of penalty to the Kansas City Chiefs versus 1 flag and 5 yards of penalty for the goddamn Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a fucking problem. Now, is it a blatant problem where all the referees are just giving yards away? No. It's a problem collectively with the Chiefs that they can't get their shit together. They're not disciplined. Surprise! But yeah, the flags just were atrocious. Now, fair play. By the second half, the flag count was even if you just count the second half. 3-3. I mean, yardage-wise, technically, the Bucks got more, but in totality, it's really ugly the way the referees were so ticky-tacky with their calls. But, dude, if you're the Chiefs, go back and watch the tape. Your team was absolutely ass! It's every fucking retard complaining about this shit right now. All the referees dropped the fucking Chiefs. Tom Brady got no Super Bowl. It's the same goddamn Packers, Steelers, and fucking idiot goddamn Colts fans out there. Like, I'm bunching all you motherfuckers together. But I've seen the excuses so many fucking times anytime Tom Brady's in the big stage. But I look at that Chiefs team again and I say, why don't you look in the fucking mirror? Okay, why don't you look at the fucking tapes and see that the Chiefs were atrocious all over the field. All over. And let's start with that O-line. Now, not having Mitchell Schwartz, not having Eric Fisher, is a huge detriment to that squad. I get it. I do. Because guess what? I'm a Seahawks fan. I know what bad O-line is supposed to look like. But is that any fucking excuse to just turn into a turnstile? Let fucking edge rushers go away to Patrick Mahomes. Hey, they got JPP. They got Shaq Barrett. They got all these great defensive guys. Let's just get this shit open for goddamn Patrick Mahomes and not get any sort of support. What are you, fucking brain dead? You're going to kill your $500 million quarterback? It's unbelievable, man. This O-line was just MIA. No one was there. I mean, I think worse than them has to be the receiving core for the Kansas City Chiefs. What I remember distinctly from that first half for the Chiefs is Travis Kelce just dropping one of the easiest ball for his standards, for a player of his caliber that should be catching those balls. He fucking dropped it. And I'm pretty sure if there are Travis Kelce stands, they're going to be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes should have thrown back. Patrick Mahomes was throwing some goddamn great balls all throughout this fucking game, despite the fact that his receivers were shit. Cheetah, you look nice for a bit. What the hell happened? I look at a guy like Edwards-Helaire. Was Le'Veon Bell even available for this game? What did he even fucking play it down? I have no fucking idea, because this offense was just silent, farting itself out. And you would think Andy Reid, being this offensive guru kind of guy, gets the juices flowing for his guys. No, not at all. No. And what's worse is, if the offense is, having a bit of a hiccup, not doing all that well, it's up to the defense to just kind of bolster the guys up. Hey, let's make a couple of plays. Let's try to get our guys up. Maybe create a turnover, something to stop this shit. Chiefs fans, you know exactly what the fuck you saw on Sunday with that Chiefs defense. They were just doing cardio out there. They weren't doing anything special. They're just running around like fucking headless chickens. And the leader of the headless chicken brigade has to go to Honey Badger himself, Tyrann Mathieu. I like you, dude, but why would you go Tom Brady? Why would you do that? Like, you understand this man who has played over 2 decades in the NFL, who has spent 10 fucking times going to the Super Bowl, 47% of his fucking postseason career, he's been doing that shit. And you're going to goad him? You're going to fucking rile him up for why? Why are you doing that? To get one of the best clutch performers in all of sports, not just football, in all of sports, to get his shit riled up? Oh, forget that he's an old man. No. Listen, never count out the old man in a young man's game. Tom Brady was completely underestimated by this arrogant defense. I mean, again, it comes back to the ref ball, right? Oh, they were all fucking ticky-tacky bullshit. Some of the holding play, some of the fucking passer interference, some of the blatant stupidity exhibited by the Kansas City Chiefs defense didn't fucking help the matter. It just really didn't. It's absolutely embarrassing. Because you would think, maybe, just maybe, if everything else is turned to shit, just perhaps the special team's going to be okay. No. Special team, crap too. The only thing that was any level of decent or good for the Kansas City Chiefs was Patrick Mahomes. And you know what? I've seen enough comments and social media pages. I've had enough conversations with 1 or 2 cats that says Patrick Mahomes isn't good enough. He's not the best in the league. What? What? After you see that Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes trying his damnness towards the very fucking end, where there is no hope, you're really going to call out Patrick Mahomes as not being great, can't care? Oh my God, dude. What? Patrick did everything he could. There was one brilliant bit of play where he's already going down. Patrick's already going down. And somehow Patty just throws this beautiful fucking ball while falling down. And despite it being out of bounds, if I'm not mistaken, it was still somehow a catch. If that doesn't tell you the talent level of this man and how I would honestly argue, total and, career accolades aside, at the current moment, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. Okay? Jesus Christ. I know Tom's good. And we're going to talk about the Buccaneers here in a bit, but man, the only reason why this game between the Chiefs and the Buccaneers was at 31-9 and not some crazy ass score like Super Bowl 48 where the defense completely fucking demolished, Peyton Manning and that elite offense is because Patrick Mahomes. Are you comparing Peyton and... Shut up! I'm not doing that, you retard! What I'm saying is, at the moment of which they played at that specific Super Bowl 48, Peyton was a fucking walking skeleton. Can we not fool ourselves with that shit? Okay? In that scenario, he got mauled and demolished by the Seahawks defense. What I'm saying is, if you had a quarterback worse at that point where Peyton was at, despite the talent level, if you have it worse than that, this game would have been a disaster. An absolute fucking disaster. But it's because of Patrick Mahomes that you still got 3 fucking field goals. Congratulations. Oh my God. Just so bad. Why are you screaming and yelling? You're not even a Seahawks fan. I hate bad shit from teams. I hate incompetence. And I'll call that shit out like an arrogant prick. Because that's just sports ball fandom. Yeah, and its roots, right? You're all couch potatoes, man. We're just watching and recommending and analyzing and diagnosing teams based on our limited knowledge and our view and perception. And so with that said, man, I mean, I would still tell you that, man, the Chiefs just fucking choked. And the only person who didn't was Patrick Mahomes. And it's kind of embarrassing that we're even talking about the fact that the Chiefs were shit. But no, I mean, the easy fucking thing to do is just blame the refs. It's all on the refs. You goddamn filthy casuals make me sick. You really do. The same goddamn filthy casuals are going to go ahead and say, oh, Tom Brady is just a system quarterback. 7 rings mean nothing. So every fucking time I hear just brain dead arguments, Tom Brady isn't the greatest of all time in the NFL, and he's just a system quarterback. He's nothing. He's the most overrated. This is exactly why I am a fucking antisocial prick. Because most people are fucking retarded. And good Lord. Just take a step back and you hear those arguments. You read them online. And they're professional journalists who actually talk about things like this where Tom Brady's overrated. Remember Max Kellerman? He's not even a journal, but he's one of those fucking mainstream media cunts. Max Kellerman. Tom Brady's about to fall off a cliff. Dude, I don't know about that. Now, will I say Tom Brady, as of right now, isn't perfect? Of course he's not. He's the greatest of all time, but as of right now, this with age, everything, I still think there's so much margin for possible depreciation, like sharp depreciation. But despite me saying that, I don't know. I don't know. Tom Brady continues to defy logic, reason, age, biology. Dude, Tom Brady is basically a god. I don't know what else to say at this point, man. I'm a Seahawks fan. I mean, I've mentioned this again, and I have all these fucking blatant memorabilia in front of you. But when the Seahawks lost to the Patriots at the goal line, which I would contest they had no business being there. Shout out to my man, Jermaine Kearse. I wasn't all that angry. There are spurts of moments that I do get angry because there are, dumbass fans who just keep poking the bear, and that's all they can say because they can't make genuine and, critical and constructive arguments. But I think about that moment and, Russell Wilson throwing that pass, intercepted. it irritates me, but simultaneously, it just taking a step back and looking at the totality of the game, you just realize that wow, Tom Brady, like he's been there, done that. He's I've seen him do it to my fucking team. I'm seeing him consistently do it to other teams. I mean, dude, he's done it to three more fucking teams. By that I mean by winning two more times. Is that right? Three more times. No, he beat the Falcons. He beat the Rams. He beat the fucking Chiefs. So it's crazy because I'm losing count. This is how good Tom Brady is. I'm losing count of the amount of times this man has won a Super Bowl. Can we just appreciate how amazing that is? I get it. There's this constant frustration with the referees, this fixation about Belichick, the system, but Tom did fantastic. I mean, he's the MVP of Super Bowl 55 for a reason, right? Although you can't say popularity contest. I mean, oh man, I would love to put a guy like Gronk there, maybe Shaquille Barrett for just being an absolute fucking unit. And this, okay, I'm going to talk about the offense here in a little bit again, but backpedal. Let's talk about that defense, man. Ooh, that defense though. I did right on here, right? That defense though. My goodness. Can we talk about the Buccaneers defense and how great that fucking entire lineup is? Now, just about 2 years ago, this defense was one of the worst in the league. They were giving up like 30 plus points every game. And I recall when Jameis Winston was a quarterback. Oh, a throwback. Where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came into Seattle and they had a shootout with the Seahawks. I felt that, oh, wow, this defense is, I mean, they have good moments. They're young, but I don't know. It feels off. But through the latter half of the regular season and all throughout the postseason, I mean, this defense has been on it. They have been stepping on necks. I mean, think about this. Okay, really think about this. The only quarterback that has actually done well against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense in the 2020 postseason has been Tyler Heineke. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes all got ass rammed by that defense, though. JPP, Shaq Barrett, Davis, Winfield Jr. I mean, I don't have all the names. I apologize. But it's an impressive unit altogether. Still very young. It actually does remind me of the Seattle Seahawks Legion of Boom. Not to the extent of what the Legion of Boom was doing. Obviously, the statistics and the impact of that team is far beyond, honestly, what this unit is doing. With all due respect. But, whoo! I love the way this defense just got at the Chiefs all game long. And again, I would contest that Shaq Barrett could have been Super Bowl MVP. The man was everywhere. He was disruptive. He was just the X factor to the Buccaneers, just putting the stamp on the game and really never letting the Chiefs breathe. And of course, it's as a total unit, but I still see Shaq Barrett as that key guy. But going back on offense and talking about potential MVP, Super Bowl MVP candidates, I did mention Rob Gronkowski, who was phenomenal. I mean, this guy just a year ago, and it's such a funny post where it's this little meme of the four guys standing there, and it says, just a year ago, Tom Brady was a free agent. Leonard Fournette was just being thrown away for chips and coins and fucking tampons, probably, because the Jacksonville organization at that point was a fucking mess. But you also had Rob Gronkowski as a WWE wrestler and Antonio Brown almost in jail, but all four of them scored a touchdown. Crazy how things work. And you're probably going to have a bit of salt from Jacksonville. Definitely a lot of salt from Pittsburgh because AB won with Tom Brady. I know it sucks. I don't like AB either, but such is the nature of this gridiron gauntlet, boys and girls. Tom Brady gets an opportunity. He has weapons. He's going to wreck shit up. And, man, I got to give a huge shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers O-line too. I mean, they were just gobbling up goddamn defense, man. I mean, this gave Tom plenty of opportunity to just sit back behind the pocket, and just like this chair is creaking, he's got to, tweak his back a little bit, get the tee going, and rub the ball, then throw it right to Gronkowski for a touchdown. And yeah, I mean, as good as Tom Brady is, that is a huge testament to his O-line. And Andy Reid is probably just, arms between his big, lovable, fat chest. I'm just thinking, God damn it, I wish my fucking O-line could protect my goddamn $500 million quarterback. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen for the Chiefs. And by virtue, the Buccaneers came out the winners, and the happy campers. And hey, you know where they camped at? Well, not literally camped at, but they camped for a good spot for the Super Bowl celebration. Man, that was a fucking shitty transition. But what wasn't a shitty transition was seeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do what the Tampa Bay Lightning did in celebrating their championship win by doing a boat parade. And holy crap, TB12sports.com, Tom Brady was fucked up. It was great to see. I love watching drunk Tom Brady just lose his shit, go ham, and just fucking get drunk, get escorted by security. Brilliant stuff, man. Brilliant stuff. But I will say this. The GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming out during the parade, of course, you're in a good mood, you're jovial, you're drinking, but to come out and said, we're not going anywhere. We're not going fucking anywhere. The hubris, buddy. The hubris. You got to be careful with that shit. That will bite you. That's what happens in the NFL, baby. But that was a nice little Super Bowl that we had, boys and girls. But the reality of Super Bowl 55 is the numbers don't speak for the greatness of really what this event's supposed to be, right? The culmination of everything that happened in the regular season, 17 weeks of football, 3 weeks of postseason play to get us here. But yeah, that penultimate, that really ultimate culmination in the gridiron gauntlet wasn't really a good look in terms of viewership. So 96.4 million viewers for Super Bowl 55. Now, for those of you wondering, this is the lowest viewership in championship games since 2007. And really try to contextualize this and think why this is so bad. You had Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback, the GOAT, versus little baby GOAT in Patrick Mahomes. This was supposed to be a fucking matchup of matchups. And of course, we know what happened in the actual game. But in terms of trying to bring in the audience, reeling in people, that already should do it. But dude, 96.4 million. You don't really have the excuse, man, of, oh no, it's a pandemic season. We can't have people. No, dude. Because of this pandemic, people are staying home more. They should be turning on the TV to watch this shit more. But you know what's happening? You went full leftist politics dipshits. And now you've lost pretty much half your fan base. More or less, really. But congratulations, NFL. You go woke, you go broke. Some dumbass shit. But speaking on dumbass shit, yes, wearing the Seahawks gear, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson has gone public and has been doing the media tour, obviously winning Walter Payton Man of the Year. I mean, you're kind of obligated to do these radio shows and whatnot. But he goes in public, whilst taking photo shoots with his wife Sierra and GQ and doing all this good stuff. He goes ahead and airs out some dirty laundry about, how he's tired of getting hit. He's tired of running. He needs better help. All that good jazz. And I'm paraphrasing here. Of course, you can always go look up what he actually said. But generally, in terms of how you perceive words from your franchise star, the franchise star who's being paid the most amount of money in the organization, like when this cat struts his shit and talks with his ego, you get concerned. And when the Seattle Seahawks are looking at Russell Wilson telling, hey, dude, what are you doing? why are you doing this? Like, is this a whole power play move to try to get Pete Carroll out? Like, you understand that's probably not going to happen, right? It just makes Russell Wilson look more like an ass than he already is. And I've already said it throughout the entirety of the regular season that Russell Wilson was playing different. He was playing in a more arrogant way. This dude's ego was showing up all over. Yes, the first 5 games, you were great. You were going against almost no-name opponents, and you're boosting your stats to this insane level, potential MVP. But the rest of the season, you were ass. Yeah, sure. O-line, not that great. But when you look at the tape, when you look at Russell Wilson, his individual throws, his individual shit, man, you weren't on it. You weren't completely on it. Can we look at that and say, hey, maybe Pete Carroll should look at his personnel and try to do something with that? Perhaps, sure. But I also look at Brian Schottenheimer, who just did not want to fucking run the goddamn ball to save his fucking life. I look at that shit and think, maybe, Brian Schottenheimer and Russell Wilson being super close together, maybe that, arrogance just fed off of itself, and having Sierra in that equation, I don't think helps. And all you fucking married Simpson cucks are going to fucking defend Russell Wilson. Oh, boy, it's a married man. That makes you fucking better. Oh, it's having children. Like shit. Dude, do you understand that Russell Wilson complaining here doesn't really do anything other than the fact that, you want to just be a trade bait then. Cool. Because you're only one player on a 53-man roster, Russ. You also understand that you are carrying the most fucking salary cap hit in the entire team at around over $33 million, if I'm not mistaken. Like, if you want to continue this arrogant path of pointing shit out, a la Ben Roethlisberger with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't want to see your ass. I don't. Hey, Russell Wilson, thank you for that Super Bowl. Thank you for bringing this fucking franchise to the fucking nth degree in terms of value. But guess what? This is a cold business. If you honestly are going to chop that shit up with all that toxic shit and not really become a fucking leader in that regard and play the blame game, I don't want you here. Because guess what? Players go away. Generally, teams stay. Now, that's all questionable because, of course, you have American ownerships who always love moving their teams. Look at the fucking Raiders. Look at the goddamn Chargers. Look at the Rams. All these fucking teams. But generally speaking, teams last longer than the player. And I tell you right now, if you're the Seattle Seahawks, look into trading Russell Wilson after June 1st because the salary cap hit will be obviously different with these dates. Obviously, contracts and the contract languages do matter. Now, do I want Russell Wilson to stay? Of course I do. He's good. But if you want to stay and if you want to, not be a complete pussy and bitch about shit, restructure your contract. Take lower fucking AAV hits. So that way, we can add more weapons, Russ. It's because your stupid $33 fucking million cap hit that we can't get any offensive line help. We already got studs on the defense. So, can't really help you there right now, right? So, with that, at this point, I think the more effective, efficient thing would be this. If you can trade Russell Wilson after June 1st, try to get, 3 to 4 first-round picks if you can. That'll alleviate about $19 million in cap space. Now, the problem with that, obviously, is, what quarterback are you going to roll with? Are you really going to go with, oh, bloody hell, who the hell do we have for a while there? Geno Smith? Really? So that's the question mark. Is Pete going to be able to keep the ship steady while they don't have a quarterback and they're going to try to stabilize with something and bare weapons? Look at what happened to Bill Belichick. Of course, there were so many opt-outs, but yeah, this is certainly a possibility that you have to embrace as a Seahawks fan, man. This is a cold business. This is a fucking football, man. It's how this shit works. Salary caps, condom players, people getting released. It happens, man. So if Russell leaves because he's just a simp who's doing all the fucking wishes and arrogant, driven shit by his wife, Sierra, so be it. Bye, bitch. I hope we get plenty of assets for you then. But, Russ, if you want to stay, restructure a contract. Apologize to your teammates. Apologize to the fucking organization. Say, listen, I know I get hit. I know the O-line sucks at times, but guys, I'm frustrated. I apologize, but let's try to make this right. But I don't know if Russ has the humility to do that at this point. His ego is all over the fucking place, and honestly, I don't see it. So I always, boys and girls, prepare for the worst case scenario, because it's the most effective way to make sure you're not falling over yourself, right? But let's end up with a few other news from the NFL verse. Certainly a team that's kind of falling over themselves is the Houston Texans. I mean, they've been doing so, I would argue, ever since the trade for Laramie Tunsil, or probably the trade out to, send out Dwayne Brown. But, man, no DeAndre Hopkins, more Deshaun Watson trade rumors, and now you finally released J.J. Watt. You didn't even get any compensation or assets for J.J. Watt. You just straight released him. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. J.J. deserves none of this shit. J.J. deserves none of this shit. Now, if you ask me about Deshaun, yeah, I think Deshaun's being a little bit of an entitled cunt. Really do think that. But that's just me. And I do think quarterbacks have more of a prima donna nature to them, more than a lot of other positions. And you're seeing it now with guys like Deshaun Watson, with Russell Wilson. But when I see a man like J.J. Watt, I just see a man who just gets fucked by a shit organization with shitty ownership, and who thought it was a brilliant idea to keep around Bill O'Brien for all that time. Which, how's that turning out for you? Yeah, remember that trade for Jadeveon Clowney and Barkevious Mingo and Jacob Martin? Is that right? You guys are fucking ridiculous, man. What will you do? What are you going to do? That's the Texans. Yeehaw! This is a sin for the fucking Astros. I would always argue that. Your city, in terms of sports, hasn't been relevant since Hakeem Olajuwon. Hasn't been a championship team since Hakeem Olajuwon. A legitimate championship team since Hakeem Olajuwon. And, yeah, the Houston Astros being, scumbag piece of shit. This is just karma. And I feel no sympathy. I feel bad for JJ. I feel no sympathy for the Texans. I'm just kind of laughing. I'm always laughing at the Texans. That's how we do, baby. It's called Schadenfreude. It's a beautiful thing, boys and girls. But what's not such a beautiful thing is twin brothers, Mike and Maurice Pouncey, retiring from the NFL after 13 seasons. They're both retiring simultaneously. And being twins, I'm sure that's fine. But do you guys also fuck at the same time? That'd be kind of fucking weird. But hey, important life decisions. Sometimes you do it with family, and hey, good for the Pouncey twins to get that, get their 13-year career under their belt, and now they're retiring. Best of luck to you, gentlemen, to whatever you do. Although, I'd be curious if they did like a cooking show, the Pouncey twins, called the Pouncey Cakes, right? Wouldn't that be a thing? Let's make that a thing. Pouncey twins, if you need that shit, take it. Pouncey Cakes. Baking cakes and frying up meats. Yeah. I'm really horrible at TV pitches, but what I'm not horrible at, boys and girls, is, but tying all the loose ends together to say, ultimately, boys and girls, Tom Brady is the GOAT. Patrick Mahomes is still good. The Chiefs were ass. The Buccaneers win their second ring. And the football season is over. Crazy, right? Crazy. But yeah, football season is over. But technically not. Because the NFL draft soon approaches. So we shall see what happens, boys and girls. And on the next episode, tune in to find out, bitch. Until next time, fuck off.